Hi, welcome to part 2 of the coding help for program 5, the roulette wheel. We got to the part where we figured out which kind of bet was going to be made. And now we're going to find out what the winning number is. The winning number is called spin. And spin is equal to, and we're going to use another function for this, spin wheel. And spin wheel is just a normal function. I say normal, because, whoops, it's not void. We're returning an int. Because spin wheel does not have any references or pointers. And we'll be getting to pointers next. So what do we do in spin wheel? Well, we run, we get the random number. We run the wheel. So one simple way to do it is int spin. Now, this spin has the same name as the spin that is a class variable. Is it related? No, not a bit. Okay, int spin equals rand. Rand's a function, and we want the random number to be between 0 and 36. So what do we do with the modulus? We make it 37. We know that rand gives us a number between 0 and 32,767. So we use the modulus. We don't care about how many times 37 goes into it. What we care about is getting a number between 0 and 36. And this will do it for us. And we're going to return spin. Or rerun it. Jeez Louise, there we go. Okay, so we've got the winning number. Now, did we have to wait until we got all this other information? No, we could have done it up here at the top as long as it's inside the do while loop and before we call figure winnings. It just happened that this was convenient for me to have it be here. And now we're going to call figure winnings. And figure winnings is going to look like this. Figure winnings int selection, which we can pass the selection 1, 2, or 3. Double money, which is the amount of the bet. Bool be odd. So if the bet is odd or even, you're going to pass true or false. Int number. So if the bet is for number, you're going to pass the number. Int low. Int high. If it's for dozens, you're going to pass the low and the high. Int spin. So you're going to pass the winning number, and we're going to have 2 pointers. One for the winnings for that particular roll of the roulette wheel, and the other for a formatted string which comments, well, which really documents on what was bet, how much was bet, what was the winning number. And so we're going to create a string while we're in the figure winnings function. So if the prototype of the function has pointers, then we are going to have to pass the address of our variable. Oh, and here's our problem. this is the prototype, and I am supposed to be calling the function. Sorry. I was in the wrong file. There we go. So let's see what we have. We have winnings and we have result string. So we're going to pass the address of winnings and the address of result string. Okay, so I still have red squigglies because we haven't defined it yet. So let's move to the functions.h file. And I'm going to make this void return. Okay, now I'm going to have to put back int money is double. Biot is a bool. Number is an int. Low is an int. High is an int. Spin is an int. Winnings is a double. And now this is different. This is star p winnings. We put a p in here to remind ourselves that we're making a pointer. And we are declaring a pointer to be used in the figure winnings function. And we have another one here for the result string. It's kind of okay with us using a string even though we haven't added it. We'll see if that continues to be okay. Okay, here then is our function body or function implementation. And we are going to create, at the beginning, we're going to create a string stream that we're going to use to keep track of what the bet and what the winning was. And I'm going to have to use a pound include a stream. There we go. And I'm going to format my string stream like you format cout for 2 decimal places. Okay, I know you know how to do that. Then I'm going to add a statement the bet equals, and then I'm going to say how much the bet is. And the winning number equals, how's that going to look? Okay, so the string stream is like cout. You can interrupt it and go back and keep adding to it later on. Okay, so this is all we're going to add right now. Now, p winnings is the pointer, which means the variable p winnings contains an address. So we can't do very much with that. But when we use the indirection operator, which is star p winnings, then we can use it because it will be the variable that is pointed to. So, okay, now what are we going to do? We're going to check the selections. and they are 1, 2, or 3. You can use, as usual, an if-else or a switch. So if selection is 1, the bet was on a number. Okay? So you're going to write a line in the string stream stating that the bet is a number and what number was chosen. Okay, now check to see if the number wins. If yes, calculate the winnings to be 36 times what? The bet? If no, winnings are 0. Okay, do the same for selection equals 2 and 3. So each time you're going to check if the user won and figure the winnings. Now, when we figure the winnings, as I mentioned before, you can use star p winnings. I think that's our variable, star p winnings, as your winnings variable. You can also create a local double, maybe money 1, and at the end of the function assign that value into star p winnings. If it makes you kind of nervous to use this. This, however, is the indirection operator. This is the pointer. So this right here is the variable that's pointed to. Okay, so when you get to the end of the function, add one last line to the string stream. SS star p winnings. Whoops, that's not what I meant to say. I'm going to say winnings Winnings are, oops, don't forget $, star P winnings. Does that look right? Yes. Okay. And the formatted string, we have the same situation as we had with winnings. This is P results string is the pointer, and star P results string is the variable that's being pointed to. So star P results string equals ss.str. We're converting the string stream into a string, and we are assigning it into, it's not results, it's result. There we go. Signing it into that string. So winnings and a string of all of the comments you made will be available to main. Okay, back to main, figure winnings. Okay, look at this. We are very unhappy about figure winnings. I wonder why. Aha, I see it right now. It's telling me that more than one instance of overload functions figure winnings matches the argument list. Well, we know that's not true. I just have one function. But here are the two that it's talking to me about. And one of them has error type P, whoops, let's go back. Come on, error type P result string. Remember I said I didn't include pat include string, and I wondered if it would be okay? Well, you see that? It's not okay. So let's go back to functions.h. I pound include string and then using namespace standard, and now we're fine because there's no longer an error in using string. If I use string, which I did do, without including it, it's undefined. And it took the compiler a few moments to get mad at me, but mad it did get. Okay, so we made it back. We have figured out who has won and who has lost, or how much he's won or lost. And now we're going to, let's see, what are we going to do? We're going to figure out total winnings. Okay, we have this variable winnings and this variable total winnings, or winnings. I'm going to make that total winnings. So I am going to add, well, what if total winnings is, if winnings is 0? Okay, so let's just do that. If winnings is equal to 0, I'm going to say total winnings minus equals money. Okay, so basically not total, string total winnings. So basically I've lost my money. Can I do this if winnings equals 0? I think I had better not. The reason is that the way that floating point numbers are represented in our computer is not always what we think it is. Perhaps you remember back in Chapter 3, if you looked at Program 311, and it discusses how floats are not represented the same as integers. I've made an additional tutorial for Chapter 5, and I'm running that program and explaining it a bit. But the upshot is that this test for equality only works when you have an integer. So what we're going to do instead is check to see if winnings is less than 0.12341. Okay? That is a reasonable comparison because 0 is not necessarily represented as 0.000. Okay, take a look at that program 311 or the tutorial in Chapter 5. Okay, and then else, well, else what? You're going to add the winnings. Add to winnings. Okay. Having done that, we now know what total winnings is. Total winnings is going to be the amount of money that our gambling user has accumulated while sitting at the roulette table and playing several times. So, the next thing to do is to create, is to add the result string, which is from playing this one roll of the roulette wheel, to something we're going to call total string. And total string is going to have all of the information for all of the rolls of the roulette wheel. So, let's see. Let me check something. Hold on. Okay, I did not remember to add a new string, so let's do it right now. String stream total. And I'm just going to call it total. And it looks like I have not, oh I did, so you know why I spelled it wrong. There we go. String stream total. Why is it not liking it? Pound include S stream. Oh. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to take total, which is a string stream, and we are going to stream into it the result string. Not too bad, huh? So that is going to be result string. That's simple. So every time we come back from playing a round of roulette, the result string with all the information on it is going to be streamed into this string stream, which we are keeping track of everything that's going on, and it will be presented to the user in a file. Okay, so we've gotten through one throw or a spin of the dice, and so now we're going to ask user if they will want to go again. Okay? And when it's no, that's when we're going to create the file and the total string. Total string is the one that has all the information in it for all the plays. So we're going to say here that total string is equal to total .str. So we're just converting it into a string so that we can use it as a string. Maybe we ought to add a comment. What do you think? All right, let's try that. Let's first make a comment. Total string, no, total, sorry, total winnings or losses equals total winnings. We've been keeping track of those. So, okay, so that's the bottom line first. And now total string will also have that information. Okay, so now we're going to open a file and write total string into that file. So let's do that. Bool b open file equals write file. What are we going to pass it? We're going to have to pass it total string and a file name. We're going to have to be asking for a file name, and that's going to be done with a pointer. So file name, here it is, file name. Okay, so we need to send the address of file name. Okay, so let's see what that function looks like. Well, we just need bool over there. Total string is a string, and file name is also a string, and it is not a reference. It is a star p file name. We have a pointer again. Okay, you may be wondering why we are returning a bool from write file. Well, let me show you. First, we're going to ask for file name. Okay, and when we do that, make sure you tell the user the format. And what does that mean? So what I usually do is something like this. File.txt, so that the user knows to enter a .txt. If you don't want the user to enter that, that's fine, but you have to add it to the file name then. So sometimes it's just easier to ask the user to put it in yourself, and then you're going to read the file name. And what is the file name going to be? The file name is going to be, once again, we have a pointer. P file name is the variable that has the address of file name. Star P file name is reaching the actual variable. So you can do a couple of things. String F name. How about that? CN, no. Get line, CNF name. Okay, so now I'm reading it into a different file name, but I can certainly do this. Star P file name is equal to F name. Or you can just read it into star P file name. Now, I'm going to open an output stream. We do a lot of streams in C++. Cout is a stream, string stream is a stream, and then now when we read or write files, and today we're just going to write, that is a stream. So OF stream output. Now, OF stream is the name of a file stream class. There we go. All we have to include is fstream. When we are writing things out, we use ofstream. When we are reading them in, we use ifstream. Output is just an object name I've given it. You can give it any name you want. I like to give it output to remind myself what I'm doing. Output.open fname dot cstring. Okay, this is not right. C_str. The file reading and writing mechanism in C++ is very old. It's from C. And in C, there were not string objects. There were only character arrays. So we'll talk about that some more in the next program. But for now, take my word that we need to convert the C++ file name to a character array for this process. Now, Visual Studio let you get away using a C++ string object, which would be fname or star p file name, because they both refer to the same object. However, you may not always be using Visual Studio. It makes that conversion for you, so you ought to be aware of the correct way to do it. Now I'm going to set the precision for output the same way as for cout and string stream. See, they all work more or less the same. Then I'm going to check that output is a valid stream. And the simplest way to do it is like this. This means if output is true or a good stream, and this means if output is in error and not working right. So this is what we're checking for when we return that bool. It's possible to either try to access a file and not be able to open it, or to try to write a file and for some reason not be able to open that new file. So we always check that, and if it is true that output is not working, then we're going to return false just right away. Okay, there's nothing else to do in here. Okay, then otherwise, and you can put an else in here or not, we're going to write oh, that was cute. There we go. Output. Perhaps a little in introduction. C++ roulette game. And then we're going to write, what's the report? It's total string. total string that has all your information in it. And you will return true. Okay, so one last thing, or actually two, we're going to check that the file was written. If yes, whoops, I need a comment there. Tell the user file name. The file name. Well, the user knows, but remind them. If no, tell the user no file written. And finally, say goodbye. Okay, that's it. That's the end of Program 5. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to email me.